Pelton, LeBron is shooting 46% from the field, which I just praised Banchero. Boy, 46% is great. I want to put this in perspective. He's actually, to be clear, he's shooting 45.7% from the field so far in his 10 games. It's the lowest field goal percentage. Granted, it's 10. It's not 80, it's 10. It's the lowest field goal percentage he's had since his rookie year. I mentioned earlier he shot 41% as a rookie. LeBron has been a very high efficiency shooter for basically his entire career. Since 2009-10, his last year in the first time in Cleveland, he has shot under 50% from the field twice in that span. Once was his first year back in Cleveland, where he kind of had a reset statistically. He shot 49%. And then once was during the pandemic year where he won the championship. He also shot 49%. He went through a period early in his midway through his career where he increased his field goal percentage in 7 consecutive seasons. Better year after year after year. Which is, and they were like years 3 through 10 in his career. It wasn't like it was rookie. He was building out as a rookie. He actually, his first 3 years got better. They went sideways his 4th year, and then years 4 through, or his years 5 through 11, he went up every year, shooting 24% on three-point shots, Kevin. Now, he has not been a good three-point shooter for most of his career. He has shot over 40% just one time in his career. Last year, actually the last 2 years, he shot 36%. He's a career 35% three-point shooter. But he is shooting 24% on 7 attempts a game. Efficiency significantly down. And free throw shooting down at 66, 67%. Last year he had really improved his free throw shooting, got it back up after a couple of years in a row in the 60s. He had gotten it back up to 76%. So that's a lot of numbers I just threw out there. I'm sorry for being heavy with that. I'm getting to the point that I want to bring up, Kevin, is what's your concern level about LeBron's shooting? And are you concerned that this is something that is related to age and creating space and things like this?
And the fact that he has commercials of him versus Father Time playing on TV all the time. Yeah. So I think there's, kind of 2 separate parts of this. And so you mentioned comparing him to full seasons. I went back to look at 10-game stretches throughout his career so that we could kind of compare apples to apples. If you look at effective field goal percentage, this is his lowest 10-game stretch since December 2015. So this is a pretty significant change from the LeBron. This is not business as usual or like a typical slump. In terms of three-point percentage, a little bit different. We have seen him go through stretches like this. There was about a dozen games in February 2021 where he was shooting, somewhere in the low 20s from three-point range and, recovered from that to some degree. Obviously, that was the season where he later missed time before the Lakers lost in the first round. But again, he shot as well as he did last season coming off of it. So, I think there's more variability in the three-point shooting. What concerns me is LeBron in the paint and in the restricted area specifically. He's at 61% there, according to Second Spectrum tracking. That would be his lowest since 2014-15. And even last season, at age 38, he was at 70%. So that is a pretty significant change. And that's one of those areas where there's less volatility in terms of your finishing around the rim than there is in terms of your three-point shooting. So I feel like that's maybe where we're seeing the age particularly start to show up.
Yeah, he is in the last few years had more trouble beating his defender. And it's not really that big of a surprise. He's facing most nights he's facing guys 10 to 14, 15 years younger than him. They just have live legs. He's also been, looking for the whistle a little bit more. I mean, LeBron always, since he was a rookie, has worked on the officials, but he's been complaining in the media. He hasn't been fined yet, by the way. I wonder how many times they're going to let him complain about the officiating before they ding him. I think it's been 2 or 3 times. He's asking for fouls a little bit more. And when you watch the Lakers play, when LeBron is in transition, he is still devastating. He's still really able to get up and down the court. When the defense isn't set, he's able to slice through. He's able to get to the rim. He's able to get those and ones that he's the greatest and one finisher in the history of the game. And, he still looks good. And there's a reason why he looks for those, is because against a set defense, he isn't as able to create that space as he was. And he's also been faced with some injuries. The injuries, he's had groin injuries, he's had abdominal injuries, and now he's got an adductor injury. Those are the muscles that you need to sort of create that space. And he's kind of also protecting those injuries and dealing with challenges there.